If you've seen any of my other videos, you'll know that I think that a 6 megapixel sensor will actually give you really quite competent pictures. So I would be quite happy using this 10 megapixel camera for many situations. This is a Nikon D800. Actually, to be honest, a lot of the time I wouldn't use this because I have something that's frankly a little bit better. This is the Nikon D800. It was released in 2012 and it has a full frame 36 megapixel sensor. On a lot of social media groups I read comments like, is the D800 still a good camera in 2021? What a bizarre question. It was released in 2012, I've just said, and that wasn't exactly digital dark ages. When this camera was released, body only, it was 1 penny less than £2,600. That was a substantial amount of money then, and there's a substantial amount of money now. In fact, if you're on the average wage, it's about 10% of your entire income for a year. You wouldn't buy anything like this if it wasn't going to be, well, really very good. And this camera really is very good. I guess it's a symptom of the sort of the arrogance and entitlement of our age, where people start a new hobby and expect to go right in at the top. It's like an 18-year-old expecting to have a Porsche as a first car. If you have this camera and you cannot take decent pictures with it, there is no point in spending 5 or 6 times as much on the latest model, because if you can't get a decent picture out of this, then having a camera that costs £3,000 now simply is not going to make you a better photographer. This camera you can pick up for about £500 body only, and for £500 this is an absolute beast of a camera. I'm going to look at some of the bad points on it, and they're relatively bad points compared to the fact that this is an awesome machine. Then look at the great pluses of this machine. I'm not going to try and go through the controls and say what how each of them work, because that would take me absolutely ages on this machine. But as you can see, this is a substantial piece of kit and I really like it. Okay, let's look at the cons first. Why would you not want this camera? Well, there's no wireless connection. There's no internal image stabilization such as you might get on an Olympus. The screen is fixed, it doesn't come out. It's also not touch screen, and it is heavy. The body only weighs 900 grams. Put a lens on it, and as I normally have the battery pack on the bottom so I can use the vertical grip, then you've got a camera which is knocking on to about 1.5 kilos. And that said, it's also very slow. If I put this onto high speed and I change this to manual, let's put it on manual focus, well that helps. It won't work without a card in it. Okay, and that maybe for some people is another problem. It takes 2 cards. It will take an SD card and also compact flash. So let's put the compact flash in. Right, take it back on, see if it works now. Okay, 3 or 4 frames per second, and the buffer fills in about 12 shots. Let's try that again. Those are limitations. If you can live with those limitations, let's have a look at the plus points of the camera. The list of the plus points is a little bit longer. First of all, it's full frame, so the sensor is 36 by 24 millimeters, and it has 36 megapixels. It's extremely good at low light situations. Added to that, it has full HD video. It has, and I consider this to be a plus, a traditional optical viewfinder. It has face detection focusing. It's got 51 focus points. The screen on the back is 3.2 inches, so fairly large. It's got a 921,000 dots LCD resolution screen. The top speed on this, the top shutter speed that is 1/8,000th of a second. It will autofocus using 11 focus points. The battery life on this is pretty good. Without the vertical grip and the extra batteries in that, this will do around 900 shots. It has an external microphone port. It has an external headphone port. It has environmental sealing, which makes it not quite waterproof, but certainly good weatherproof. You can do time-lapse recordings. It has, as I've already said, exceptionally good low light capabilities. We've got the 2 storage slots. We've got the top LCD display. We have a flash sync port. We've got AF micro adjustment, so you can fine tune your autofocus. The life expectancy of the shutter is 200,000 actuations. It has a built-in spirit level, and it's compatible with a wide range of cards. What's not to like? This is exceptional. And as I said, £500 will buy you a camera body and probably the vertical grip as well. An excellent, excellent machine.